Hey folks, it's Dr. Brenda, sociologist, financial coach, founder of the Gutsy Women Club, full-time RVer, traveling the country with my three cats. Hey, I'm so happy that you're here. This is my mini workshop, creating and sticking to your holiday budget. So, yep, trying to get in the festive mood on this November evening. Hope you're doing well today. Let's talk about budgets. Let's talk about the holidays. Let's talk about new ideas and ways to make it through, have a great time actually for the holidays, and not wake up in January and find that giant credit card bill waiting for you, okay? I want to start out by asking you, what did you receive as a holiday gift last year? I'll give you a minute. Think about it. What do you remember about it? Do you remember getting a holiday gift last year? We give gifts, we receive gifts, and very often when we think back about what it is that we received, can't remember a thing. So now let's talk a little bit about your holiday gifting tendencies. Do you overspend? Do you have a budget and stick with it? Do you try to get away with buying as little as possible? Where do you fit on this spectrum? Okay, because that's really gonna depend, how you set your budget and how you stick to it. So if you have a history of being an overspender, you're going to have to rein in the spending, stick to that budget. We'll give you some strategies coming up. If you already have a budget and stick to it, hey, just keep at it. And for those who are more Scroogey, I don't have a problem with that, quite honestly. If you are frugal in your holiday spending, hey, that's cool. Now, all right, and the holidays are not exactly my most favorite time of year. I'm not a Scrooge, but the people can be pretty Scroogey. Here's a quote: "What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money, a time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer." Ebenezer Scrooge and Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. So nobody wants to be called a Scrooge for the holiday, but hey, let's be realistic. Let's get a budget. Let's stick with a budget. Just because you stick to a budget or you give sort of non-monetary gifts doesn't make you a Scrooge. So, all right, one of the things we're going to start off with is, can you change tradition? So I'll give you an example. I am one of five siblings. We're all adults. We've been adults for decades, okay? And my parents used to gift us money, and we would gift them money. So it was almost like a one for one exchange. We'll give you $100. We'll give them $100. I mean, they weren't into gift giving, gift buying with five kids. That's a pretty tough go. And, they didn't really have a lot of needs either. So it was this exchange back and forth of money. And, the siblings got together and said, look, this is ridiculous. We're in good shape. We don't need your Christmas gifts. You've given us so much already. We're doing well. um, Please don't gift us the money. We're gonna give you some money or give you gifts, but don't give us gifts. So we sort of broke that tradition. The other thing that we did is, among the siblings, we would do a gift exchange, and at some point, for whatever reason, we kind of lost that tradition too. But it was like, what, this excessive gift giving, at least the way that we saw it, it just didn't make any sense anymore. So you can stop in your tracks. It's totally okay and say, look, I want to do something different. Let's say you do have siblings and all of the adults give each other gifts. It's sort of like that's what we do. Well, switch it out. Why not just do a gift exchange? Why not pool the money and give it to a charity? Do something else. But you can change tradition. It doesn't always have to be about gifting. It doesn't always have to be about exchanging money. So I just want you to put that out. I want to put that out there for you. think about it. Are there some traditions that just don't make sense anymore? Maybe they made sense when you were younger, or if you had young children at home, maybe they don't make sense anymore. It's okay to change that. Here's the other thing I really want to talk about. Gift giving. I mean, there's this expectation, but sometimes you're in a pretty crappy place. I'm just going to put it there. I've been there. I've been there over the holidays. I have told people, family members, I said, I just can't participate in anything this year. I'm just barely hanging on, not just financially, but emotionally and in every aspect of my being. I just didn't want to celebrate the holidays. I couldn't get there financially. I was practically homeless, and it's like, you know what? I just want to be upfront with you and tell you I'm not giving anybody gifts. I really can't afford to be there. And you know what? I mean, my family, that cool, really cool with it. In fact, they pulled together and got me something. And so when times are tough, emotionally, socially, psychologically, mentally, financially, it's okay to opt out of gift giving festivities. Give yourself a break. If you feel like you have to give somebody something, give them your time. Say, hey, you know what? I'll come over and babysit. I'll walk the dog. Maybe you are an expert on something. Say, I'll teach you about, how to build this, how to do this. Give your time, give some expertise. It's okay if times are tough. Now, on the other hand, times can be good. That's fantastic, but you can share those happy times. You can share some of your wealth, but it's not worth adding to your debt load. It's just not. You don't have to go into debt to give everybody everything that they want. You can still budget for the holidays. So, but again, you give yourself a break, and when times are good, you want to spread that wealth. Okay, you can do it, but just don't have it negatively impact your bottom line, your finances, and don't do it just to show off. Okay, so yep, there's my philosophy. So let's talk about setting a budget. And we're going to start with sort of decorating and, trying to get a little festive here. Get the lights out here. All right, cool, right? My decorating budget, what am I up to? Maybe $10, but hey, I live in an RV. So maybe I'll get the cat something goofy, you know. But set a budget, set a decorating and a food budget. You can find a lot of stuff at secondhand places, Facebook Marketplace, um, at least in terms of decorating. Now, think about your food and beverage budget, especially that beverage budget. People tend to go way overboard, and all of a sudden, my God, I can't believe we spent that much money on booze or wine or whatever it is. So get a budget in advance. How much you're going to spend on decorating the house, decorating the RV, decorating the yard. What are you going to spend on food and beverages? And don't forget all those happy hours and holiday meals and times out. But set a budget in advance. And a lot of people forget about that decorating and food thing because they're so focused on gifts. I got to give gifts, right? How much do you want to spend on gifts? And then how much can you spend on gifts? Really set a limit. This is totally up to you, but set that limit. So you've got a range. Maybe I want to spend $300 on gifts. I can spend $500, but I'd rather not. So just have those numbers in your head. Really look at your budget, see what you can afford. I'll tell you what, the holidays, it is a source of stress, and part of it is like, oh my gosh, it's December 23rd, and I don't have a gift for so and so. Make a list now. Make a list in advance. Make a list through the year. Get a name. Get some ideas. What is the budget for that individual? And keep that list short. I mean, you don't have to have everybody on that list. And all right, let's talk about that a little bit more. Here's the thing about gift giving, about the holidays: reciprocity. More than one occasion, someone has given me a gift. I'm empty handed. You know, um, I I feel bad. It's like I didn't have this person on my list, and my list has always been kind of short. So I'm like caught empty-handed. I don't like that feeling, and it almost feels like an obligation. So if I give you something, you've got to give me something. And really, like, if I provide a gift, that's a gift of generosity. I don't want anything back, but I know that most people, there is that expectation of reciprocity. So before you get empty handed, create an understanding first, with friends, with family members, with people that you would think of as acquaintances, but create that understanding first. Are you going to exchange gifts? I mean, maybe this is kind of awkward, but is that an expectation that you're exchanging gifts? Is there an expectation? And this is really good with groups of friends, groups of office mates. Can you set up a gift exchange and name exchange? Are there gifting limits? Instead of gifts, how about, donating to a charity or participating in some type of volunteer activity in an event, a joint activity? Maybe let's say, hey, you know what, this year, let's not exchange gifts. I would love to go out with you for a nice dinner. Why don't we just share a meal together? Or I would like to cook for you. Come on over and we're going to have a great time. Do some type of a joint activity. It should be about getting together and sharing company with someone rather than all about stuff. And truthfully, how many of those gifts do you actually use, or do you keep, or do you end up regifting? So think about that in terms of, as a way to maybe cut down on your budget, but also even make the holidays a little bit more meaningful. All right. So giving options other than, giving gifts, maybe, a lot of the United Way organizations have what's called Adopt a Family. I'm an I'm adoptive mother, and I hate when they use the word adopt a family. So I say it's sponsor a family. When you adopt a family, you don't just give them a gift once a year and then boom, you never see them again. So you're sponsoring a family. That's my pet peeve. Absolutely. You can volunteer your time, help out at a homeless shelter, help out at a domestic violence shelter, an animal shelter, donate to a favorite charity. You can adopt a shelter animal. So there are a lot of ways to give back without having it be all of this material stuff, and gifting people who probably don't need or have the wants that charitable organizations do, or folks who are down on their luck, could really use a leg up. So think about other giving options. All right, how do you stick to a budget? That's the biggie. I'm talking to you in November, and I hope that you have a holiday budget. Ideally, you started it in January or maybe July or whatever you did, but put a little bit away into a holiday budget. So you've got monthly contributions. Boom, I know exactly how much I've got, and I've hit my budget. That is probably the best advice, that I can give you. And if it's already too late, there are some other options. Absolutely. One of the things is cut down the number of people on your list. So, you may get stuck with that empty handed place, where somebody gives you a gift and it's like, ooh, I really don't have anything. Are there some homemade cookies? Do you have a craft? Are there some personalized gifts that you can give to people outside of the family? Relatively, inexpensive things, or things that show off your talent, and, maybe you like making cookies or candies, or whatever it may be. All right. So those are two ways to really stick to your budget. Start early. So especially this year, all you hear about are supply chain problems. You go to the grocery store, you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to a lot of places, and they don't have the right sizes, they don't have the big supplies, and uh, popular items, it doesn't matter what year it is. You go for a popular item and it's going to be hard to find. I remember last year I must have driven 100 miles. I'd called, looked in advance to find a gaming system that was in stock, and had to drive 100 miles to find one. So it's like this every year, but this year expect shortages even more. So you got to really start early, look at sales, look at the Black Friday deals, um, and start early. I sometimes when I see something now. I can't do it here in the RV. I don't have the space. When I had the house, I would see something and think of somebody, and it's like I would just buy it and tuck it away. Hopefully, find it again. I remember one year I had purchased the perfect thing for my niece, and Christmas time came, and I was looking for it. I could not find it. I found it in the summer. So put it someplace safe. That has happened to me. So bought something, perfect thing, couldn't find it. Okay, use cash. Cash is always a good way to help you stick to your budget. It doesn't help when you're shopping online, but if you're little local holiday purchases, use cash again. That is to avoid that huge January credit card surprise. It's like, oh my goodness, I started the new year with a huge credit card bill. I hate that. So don't do it. All right, use cash when you can. Track your purchases. So there's a tendency to, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. Now, okay, how much did I actually spend? So yes, track your purchases, write down what you wrote, how much you spent, what's your budget, how much do you have left? Track it. And another idea is to, yes, exchange names, set that gift limit. Do you have to buy something for everyone? You don't. Maybe you've got a group of really good friends. See about a gift exchange, a name exchange. Okay, I'm going to get so and so, and this is what I'm going to buy. It makes it kind of fun. Also cuts down on the expenses. And how about, you've got these holiday parties, lots of food, lots of beverages. People gain weight also during the holidays. You get rid of some of those holiday parties, instead organize some type of a group volunteer activity. So those are some ways to stick to a budget. All right. So, what about an app? Most of us have, we're stuck to our cell phones, right? We're on these cell phones all the time. So, why not download an app? And this is a PDF. I'm going to share it in and give you a link to that PDF so you can download this, and you will be able to click on these links in the PDFs. Okay, so there's an article, PC Mag. This was 9 apps to help organize your holiday gift lists. Some of them do include budgets, like this Christmas budget planner. Some of the apps might cost $2.99, $3.99. A good number of them are free. So use an app if that's going to help you track it. Go for it. All right. Now, last thing. Whatever holiday you're celebrating, what does it mean to you? What are the holidays really about? They're not about stress. I don't think there are any holidays that are about, like, hey, we're gonna kick up the stress level for you. How does that sound? No, that's not the purpose of a holiday. And all holidays really think about, joy. What does joy mean to you? Joy is not about stuff. There is nothing you receive that's going to bring you joy. It might bring you happiness. You might be delighted about it, but I doubt very much that it's going to be about joy. And when you think about joy, whatever it means to you, spending time with loved ones, spending time with family, being out in nature. For me, I despise the cold. I plan to be on an island with my feet in the sand somewhere. Okay, and walking the beaches, that brings me joy. So think about what those holidays mean. And come to the realization that it's not always about stuff. When you think about, it's about your time, it's about the people you're spending your time with, it's about your health, it's about doing the things that you love to do. So that's the message going out. So you can create a budget, make that list short, uh, see about breaking traditions. Don't stress out over this, guys. If you don't have a budget, you're probably going to stress out and you're probably going to overspend. So get a budget and stick to it. All right. So happy holidays. I hope you're doing really, really well. And hey, I would love it. You'd make my holiday if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay. Thanks so much. Until next time, it's Dr. Brenda. Bye bye.